Okay, let's all do it. Ready?
Ready.
All right. Hey, guys. It's Clara and Kylie, and we are going to just chat a little bit about something you guys have probably been seeing that we've kind of been sharing with you on different social media platforms, and maybe you've signed up for our free 5-part series. But we are launching a membership site for our Love Rising podcast, which we are so excited about. And so we are just going to chat a little bit about our experiences with coaches. One thing that I learned early on when I started coaching was that all the bests have a coach. And so that's something that we are going to be talking about a little bit. And so, yeah. Do you want to jump in, Kara?
Yeah. So, we decided that we would chat about this concept of community and tribe and also coaching. Because I think, the general population isn't necessarily familiar with coaching. It's maybe we had a coach as like in like high school sports, something like that. But the idea of life coaching or personal development coaching or even health coaching may be a little like scary, a little bit like, what is that? Is that some sort of like scam? Like, that kind of feeling around it. And so we want to talk, just give our personal experience with coaching as well as having a community and a tribe. So I'll go first and I'll say, I'll talk about community and tribe first. And I wanted to say we have an awesome Love Rising podcast episode. I think it's episode number 5 with Cass Wendell about building your tribe. So that's a great thing to kind of go deeper into this if you want to. But for me, there's that saying that I think everyone has heard at this point, which is you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I think that in the self-help world, in the personal development world, there's a lot of emphasis put on individual decision, right? There's a lot of emphasis put on you're an individual, you get to make this choice. You are, like you're somehow completely separated from your environment. And I think that on some level is a great and useful way to go about your life, like taking responsibility, making sure that you're always in a good headspace, thinking of yourself as this individual and not necessarily needing validation from the external world and blah, 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 blah. But there's also the truth that we do not live in a vacuum, and that the people and the places and the environment that we put ourselves in absolutely affects our ability to live the life that we want to most live, or develop in the ways we want to develop, or hit the goals we want to hit, right? So we have to be aware of this kind of balance between taking responsibility for ourselves, being able to, move forward in any situation that we happen to find ourselves in, kind of that surrender, right? And then also really making sure that we're paying attention to our environment and our external forces that absolutely have an effect on us, right? I'm trying to think of an example of like the external forces that work on us, but just in the example of community, right? If we're in a community of people, this comes up a lot actually, because my husband is in AA and he lives a sober lifestyle, and that is something that is hugely dependent upon, who he surrounds himself with. So when you go from being, in kind of an addiction place or drinking a lot or doing drugs or something like that, when you change that, you have to get out of the situation you were hanging out in. Okay. This is an extreme example, but I think it paints a good picture, because it's like all of your friends might change. All of your friends might not change too. There might be tons of friends that are very supportive and, all that stuff if you were going through that process. So the same goes with any sort of more subtle goal, right? So if your goal is to get healthy, if your goal is to change your lifestyle, if your goal is to be more spiritually connected, if your goal is to be more personally developed, all of that stuff, you have to start hanging out with people that value that same goal, right? So you have to create an environment that requires you and asks of you what you would like to experience, right? So in that AA example, you know, that means finding a community of sober friends. That means hanging out and talking with people who also value sobriety. That kind of stuff, okay? So in my, just as a personal example, and then I'll let you talk, Kylie, about community. I went from when I was in like my early 20s, let's say mid 20s, I had a lot of friends that were, you know, partying a lot, that had jobs, you know, they were kind of like in the corporate world, like they had just started a big kid job, so to speak. They graduated from college. And I had this really deep desire to do something for myself, to not kind of be in those parameters of like the typical kind of go to college, get a job, numb yourself out. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm in the car, by the way. So
that was a really good save.
That was a good one. Anyway, so what I did, I really did start to shift my community. Like I went and sought out friends that were doing the same things, you know, that were having health and wellness businesses. I went and sought out mentors. I went into a coaching program. I found the community of people, you know, through the gym I was at initially, and then through networking events, and then through the internet a lot. And so it's like I had to seek out and create that environment of tribe and community so that I could stay focused, you know? So I really did have to kind of shift my community. So that's my experience with tribe. There's also just so much around, you know, being connected with people that value the same things that you do, and how much faster you can grow, and how much more solid your experience is. Like if you think there's something that's impossible to do right now, go hang out with people that are doing it, and it'll seem a lot more possible. Yeah.
I think that was really perfect. That end part is so true. Especially because, you know, I think there's a few parts here that, yes, it's important to have alone time. It's important to state your opinions. We talk about that a lot, have an opinion. But really, also when you're alone and when you don't really have a solid tribe, it's easy to fall into the beliefs of maybe some negative thought patterns you have, that you aren't worthy, or that you can't accomplish something that you see somebody else doing that you would like to accomplish. So I completely agree. Surrounding yourself with people who aspire to do the things that you want to aspire, or are doing the things that you want to do, those are the types of people you should surround yourself with. It's kind of funny that we're chatting about this, because yesterday I was texting with a friend, and I had sent her a podcast about Marianne Williamson and Oprah. I think it was Super Soul Sunday podcast. She turned into a podcast, and so I was listening, and it was talking all about prayer right when I needed to hear about prayer. I pray. I believe that there is a higher power that you can pray to, and so my girlfriend was going through a few things, and she said, I've just been praying a lot about that. And then I said, oh my gosh, you need to listen to this podcast, you know, whatever, because I've just been leaning into prayer a lot, and it's been doing powerful things in my life. And she actually texted me back and said, this is why we're not only friends, but you're part of my tribe. And it's because we are able to connect about like-minded things and remind each other that it's okay to not be perfect. It is okay to lean on one another. And it's okay to ask for help. And so when I have found a coach, I can't tell you, and that's kind of that idea of finding that person who's doing the things you want to do, and then surrounding yourself with them. And so when I have found a coach, I have made leaps and bounds in not only maybe my business or fitness, but personal development, self-love, those types of things too, because I don't know everything. And so when I surround myself with people who understand that I believe in a higher power, that I believe in prayer, that I believe in self-care, self-love, taking care of our health, things like that, I get all these awesome ideas from other people who have experienced them. So when we come together in that way, it's a really beautiful puzzle almost of people from different walks coming together to create almost a mosaic, if you will. But so I fully believe that when we kind of surrender the need to know everything, or think we know everything, or think that we're okay on our own, that's when we can really grow, because we are here to connect with others. And the beautiful thing about the internet now is that we have more access than ever before to those people that we might be searching for. Maybe they're not in our backyard. Maybe they aren't in our community. I live in a town of 50 people. Do you think all 50 of those people are part of my tribe? No. But because I have the internet and I have access to things like Facebook, social media, but also the Love Rising membership site, The Gathering, or Carrie Green has a great one for business. She means business. She has one. So because I have that, I have been able to find and attract the people that I want to spend time chatting with, that I want to exchange energy with, that I want to learn from, that I want to teach. So I cannot express how meaningful my tribe has become to me, because it's totally shifted the gears of my life, and it continues to. I mean, think about it. When you're having a tough time, you call up a friend and you share what you're going through with them. And sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't. But the beautiful thing about creating the gathering, the community, the website, the membership site that we are through Love Rising, is that we are all going to be going through the same thing. And maybe we can't put words to what we're going through, but maybe somebody else will. And then it clicks for us, and we understand that A, we're not alone, and B, we're going to survive. And then we have the tools to get through it. So that is my experience, I guess, with tribes. It's been a really beautiful journey, and it continues to be. And I continue to understand that it's okay to kind of, as Clara said, filter people out of my tribe that I thought would maybe be in there my whole life, but I'm finding that just aren't, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's not saying that you never need to talk to them again, but I am truly being intentional with who I fill my time and my energy with, and those are the people that we find through the Love Rising membership site, The Gathering, through certain social media platforms, but it does take a bit to seek them out. So that is really a big reason why Clara and I have devoted to making The Gathering, because we want you guys to find that in a really simple way. And so we want to invite you to join us over at The Gathering. It's exciting because we're going to be launching it next month. So we have a few days to offer you the founding member price, which is going to be at a discounted rate for life, because we know that this is going to be something totally life-changing for you. So we're not worried about it. We are welcoming open arms, excited to share with everyone. And our first month is all about boundaries, which is something as women that we intentionally need to work on, I would say.
Yeah, I love all of that. And I felt it, like, when you're talking about it, like the way that, because when I think about coaching, I think about like a rocket. It like gives you, it's like, I know I'm going to get from point A to point B. I know I'm here, I'm at point A, and I want to get here to point B. And I know that no matter what, I'm going to get there. Like, I'm going to figure it out. I know where my path is. But what coaching does is it like gives you a high speed train. Like, because it's like, you don't have to go through all that trial and error or figuring out the practices. You just get told what to do, or you get, someone else's experience that's already done it, that goes along. So like, a tribe member coaching is definitely part of tribe members, right? We have tribe members that we will coach, and we have tribe members that will coach us. And that's what's beautiful about this whole community thing, is that we're supporting each other through the way, like you were talking about. But for me, coaching has always been that thing. It's classic. I do therapy, and I have a life coach, and I have a business coach. So I have 3 people like in my tribe very closely that I pay lots of money to help me like continue, and I was actually talking with a friend, and she was like, I feel like I'm always telling you all my hard stuff. Who do you go to? And I'm like, oh girl, I've got people like, and I, and obviously friends sometimes support me as well, but but I like very intentionally have invested in myself and these tribe members to help me, because it's like I'll be struggling with something for weeks, like 2 weeks. I'll be like, it's in my head and it's in like a knot, and I'm just like trying to get through this situation or this thought pattern or something, and I'm having all this trouble. And I'll have an hour session with my mentor, with my life coach, and it's like it's all figured out, and it's like, why didn't I do that sooner? Like, it's incredible how many times that happens where I'm like really struggling with something. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. Like, I'm going to get in this session with my life coach, and it's going to be like, we're going to have to really get in there. And he like says like, 3 sentences, and I'm like, oh my God, there it is, And so you don't understand that really until you have those experiences. But I guarantee you, if you invest in yourself and you take like the time and start engaging, you will have those breakthroughs consistently when you're going through coaching. I will never not have a coach, a business coach, because I know how much money it saves me in the long run from a business perspective. But also because of just those strong personal transformations that come through it. So yeah, like this is with the gathering, what we're doing is we want a tribe. We want to go through stuff with people. We want to have like this experience with people who are interested in the same stuff as us. And we also want to provide those breakthrough experiences. That's like the most rewarding thing of my job ever, is to see someone have one of those moments where they've been struggling with something and it all comes together and they're like, this is why I'm struggling with this, So yes, the gathering is something we're so excited about. We know it's going to be amazing. And to be in on it from the very beginning, like this founding members price, and getting to be in this, what's going to be a very intimate group initially, is, I think, going to be super, super powerful. So if you feel drawn to this, it's $37 a month. It's not a big investment. Our private coaching packages are $1,000 or more. So this is very affordable. I think you're going to really love it. And I can't wait to have you guys with us.
Okay.